Hello, Aussie family. Welcome to the brand new podcast by Aussie Insurance. I am currently brainstorming a potential name for what the pod could be. So let us know if you have any ideas or suggestions. This space is designed for small business owners, hobbyists, or those itching to start a business but not knowing where to begin. The goal is to welcome a heap of amazing guests who can share some wisdom on specific topics. If you don't know me already, my name is Trista McDonald. I am Aussie's creative media guru. But lucky us today, we are joined with the one and only Neil Inns. Say hello to the podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Amazing. This podcast has been Neil's dream for a while, so we're finally getting there. Today, we're just spending a little bit of time chatting about the story of Aussie. I have a few questions ready for Neil, so he is truly in the hot seat. How are you feeling about today?
Not bad. I suppose I should have had the questions beforehand, then I could have thought about what I was going to say, but, you know, it's off the cuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it makes it a bit more real and,
Yes.
like, I feel like that's important, I guess, because sometimes it's just like, oh, like, they just already know what they're going to say. They've pre-prepared it.
Yep.
Whereas, like, now you can
Just hit me with it.
just hit you with it.
Yeah, let's
great.
do it.
Amazing. So what inspired you to start Aussie, and what was the specific gap in the insurance industry that you aimed to address?
Great question. I sort of fell into it, really, because back in the day, I was looking to exit insurance. If we really go back to the old days, 2008, we thought about coming to Australia. I was in the UK, working for a UK company with a guy over there. The company was Trafalgar, and the guy was Australian, and he was trying to get me to come out here. And I just said, nah, it's not for me. But he kept on and on and on over a period of 12 months. And I thought, oh, let's just give it a go. So I came over here with the intention, obviously, to start Trafalgar over here as part of the visa process. And brought the family over here, and temporary visa. 4 years later, the trouble was at that time the global financial crisis kicked off. So I'd come over here, and I was then required to go back to the UK quite a number of times to sort out what was going on out there. So in that time, that 4 years, we started something over here, but it didn't really go anywhere. And obviously my time was spent a lot in the UK trying to fix things that were going wrong. So 4 years later, we then agreed that we'd go our separate ways. And he bought me out of the UK. I bought him out of Australia. So I was really left with Trafalgar at that time with not many customers. And what was I going to do next? I really wanted to exit insurance. I wanted to try my hand at something else. But with these things, I've got this thing now. What do I do with it? And part of the exit deal, when we did everything, it was all to do with having to change the name. So, look, I didn't really have an issue with that because I wanted to create my own brand, my own name. So probably about 3 or 4 months before the transfer, I was trying to find a new name, trying to find something that would represent me going forward, and it was hell. Trying to come up with something unique, something memorable. It was 4 months, literally, trying to find something. And in the end, just by magic, one day, I just found a website that was selling domain names. And I opened it up that day, and the offer of the day was Aussie.com. And I just thought, this is it. It's come to me. Rather than me having to find something, it's come to me. I thought, oh, wow. So this was probably during the day, and because I didn't really know, I didn't really push the button to buy it. I talked to my friend in the UK who I just trust with everything. He's like my guru for running ideas off. And he said, oh, my God, Neil, you've got to buy it. You've got to buy it. Why haven't you bought it? And I said, oh, in that case, and if you think this is the way forward, let's do it. So this was at 6 p.m. because of the time difference, okay, and it was 9 a.m. in the UK, 6 p.m., and I've gone to bed. and I've woken up at like 3 a.m. panicking in a hot sweat thinking, oh no, what if somebody has bought that domain of the day and everything that I'd planned out, and I quickly rushed to the computer, quickly opened that website, and it was still there, and I thought, right, I've got to buy it. But the trouble is, it was a lot of money, Trista. And how do you actually buy something which is a lot of money? I just didn't know what to do. So I tried a credit card, and that failed. And I'm thinking, well, this is not meant to be. If I can't buy it, it's not meant to be. So I kept on, and eventually I managed to get it. So that day, Aussie.com was born. So I had that in my mind. I had the name, had the domain name, and I just thought Aussie, 4 letters, so easy to remember. There's lots of different ways of doing Aussie.com, A-U-Z-I, Aussie, whatever it may be, Auzi, as people have said before. But that was really the start for Aussie. And because I'd been left with this a small amount of customers, I had to try and do something with it. And I've always wanted to make things so easy for customers. I'm customer focused. The services, I like to be the top person for service, but obviously over the past few years, Tracy's taken on that lead. But I really wanted it to be a customer-focused business, and I wanted to make it easy for people to buy online. It was market stalls at that time, okay? So we didn't have many customers. Aussie was born, and I thought, what do I want to do with this? I really wanted it to be a lifestyle business, so just, to have a few customers, but the technology would be driving everything so that I could chill and be on the golf course, wherever I wanted to be. But the problem was I was starting to get a name for myself then, and things were starting to pick up. But that was when Aussie was born, and that's how the name came about. And can you believe 6 months into buying that domain, I was offered a lot of money for it. So I knew I'd bought the right thing. And as my guru in the UK said, Neil, that domain can be used for any type of brand, not just insurance. It can be any type of brand. And so I went and trademarked it, obviously for financial services, because I didn't want anybody else trading on it. But yeah, that was the story.
Yeah, amazing. You actually partly answered my next question, so we'll just skip over that. So Aussie obviously has such a strong focus on digital strategy, as we're all aware. So what made you confident that was the future direction of the insurance industry, and how has that contributed to Aussie's success?
Interesting. I just believe that a lot of people are time poor these days, and it's a case of making something very easy online to buy and get everything at the end of it. I had a guy in the UK, very successful, but he actually had just the front end, so people could buy nice and easily, but he had nothing in the back end. And there's a lot of work in that back end of, creating the certificates, creating the invoice, and when people want to make changes, they want to cancel. All these things, I learnt over a period of time what customers wanted, and I just felt as I wanted to build that. And I had this vision that when somebody wanted something, if I then had 3 or 4 customers ask the same thing, then I'd build it. So if somebody come along and said, oh, you need to be doing this, and I think, well, okay, it's a good idea, but I'm not getting that feedback yet. And when you start getting a few people asking the same question, then you think, oh, crikey, I've got to build this to make it easier for them and for me, especially interested parties, okay, because that's massive in Australia. And people want to have interested parties all the time and change them. Why not give them the ability to change it themselves online in a matter of minutes? So that's something that we built, and it cut down a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. it makes it so much easier for customers to be able to go in and do it themselves. So very much a time poor person, and people wanted, a good brand. And in the end, a lot of more people were actually recommended us as a business because of just the way we operated. And I didn't think it would get to where it is today, not even sitting here. Never did I imagine that, 10 years in, we'd be doing a podcast on it. So that's how far we've come. And yes, it's been a great journey.
Yeah, because I think Aussie is obviously so profoundly known for that digital strategy and the way that we go about it online. Do you think that we've seen other potential insurance that have try to replicate our strategy?
Yeah, there's definitely there's a few out there, but I don't think any of them have taken the time to really look at the potential, the investment side on the IT infrastructure, because I was frustrated with building and outsourcing that. And people think that it costs a lot of money to develop a system. Yeah, it's cost a lot of money over 10 years for me, but initially it doesn't really. I just got to invest that time and energy in finding somebody that could build the system for you, because I'm no coder, but I have the ideas. And it's just being able to, bring a plan together, bring an idea together. And so, technology-wise, we're so far ahead. And I know we're so far ahead because I've seen some of the other competitor systems, even one, and I looked at their, the customer area, and I thought, guys, you're so far behind here, And I know the big thing, Trista, for me is cancellations. Nobody touches cancellations in the insurance industry because this is too complicated. But Resa and I took 3 years to build it, and it is amazing. Why not pass it back to the customer to do? I consider cancellations is, unfortunately, it's loss making for us because the customer's going elsewhere or they're giving up their business. But with cancellations, you really want to make it the process easy because you want them back at some point, don't you? You don't want to make it hard, charge them a lot of money because they'll remember that. You want the customer to go away happy all the time.
Yeah, and I think for those that don't know, Resa is our IT mastermind.
That's for another. I want to talk about Resa on another podcast because our story. Yes, yeah, it's another story and it's a great story. But he's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I do want to briefly touch on, I guess, the team as it is. Obviously, this is I've kind of gone off the questions, but that's kind of fun.
But that's the whole point of this, isn't it? Yeah, just chatting.
Yeah, exactly. I think, so we're a team of 5 now. I was quick math. And everyone's so uniquely skilled and gifted in different areas. How do you think that has evolved Aussie as not just a concept, but a business and a flourishing business? How has having a team with such specific skills and such a variety of team, such a, I guess, formed team, how does that team work? You get what I mean.
Yeah, look, did I think that I'd be sitting here with, a team of 5? Never in a million years, because really the intention was just to be me only, outsourcing the IT and making, a little bit of money to, But because we'd done so well in those early days, it got to the point where I have to recruit. And I'm a people's person. Really, I love people. And as I was saying to Resa yesterday, I think I can work out a person in 30 seconds, which is really, I don't know whether that's just a unique skill or whatever, but I get an idea of a person in 30 seconds and whether they align with me. But I'm big into the universe, as you probably know. And, Resa came on board purely for the universe and the vibrations I was sending out, and we connected. But yes, it's all about bringing in people that I consider are better than me at different aspects. Okay, Resa, far better than me at IT. Tracy, customer service, far better than me at customer service. She is just next level. I didn't think I could be beaten, but she is next level. Nicole, her insurance knowledge is phenomenal. It is out of this world. And I've been in insurance for 30 odd years, and I think I know it all, but she just knows it.
And she's such an all-rounder. Like, she's just got it all going for her.
Another podcast for Nicole only. I have big plans for her. And she is just exactly the all-rounder bit. You know, you think that she's been in insurance for however many years, but she's come into this role and had to take on so many different things. But she just embraces it every day. It's just amazing. And that's what I like about people, in that I want to bring out the best in them. I can see talent. As you know, how did I get these? Resa, Gumtree. Gumtree, Resa. Tracy was Facebook. Nicole, I was LinkedIn. I don't advertise, I go after the people, or the people come to me in some format or the other, whether it's those vibrations going out there to the universe, I need this type of person. Look at you, you know, you were last on that rank, and you just blew me away.
And I was on Indeed.
It was on Indeed, yes. We tried it out for the first time because it's, we spent months trying to find somebody on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Gumtree and everywhere.
Tried the Gumtree again.
Yeah, I always check Gumtree. I like people who put themselves out there.
Yeah, true.
And I think if people that put themselves out there, they've got something. They want to win in life. And I want the winners. And, you know, you blew me away with your video. We've got to have Trista in, you know. And you were you come back straight away, and you were in that day when we wanted you in. Brilliant. And look, you're sitting here.
Look at that. I made it through the process, guys.
But the team, that's the team, isn't it? It's a team. It's a team thing, and we've got a great team because we all do things differently, and we've all got respect for each other. That's what I like. We haven't all got the right answers. We'll discuss it and come up with a plan.
Yeah, and I think there's such beauty in that as well. And I think, like, that just makes a functional team. Like, it not only just, like, the team environment, does it flourish, but is it functional? Like, that is a massive thing as it's...
We've got all of us have got each other's backs, and we'll support each other in anything we do. And that's what I love. And we've got a great team. I wouldn't be here without this great team.
Yeah. It goes a long way. I'll let you drink your water. But your next question is, so can you describe a pivotal moment or turning point in your journey? I guess, like, you've kind of gone over those sort of things, but pivotal moment, turning point in your journey where you faced a significant challenge or setback, and how did you find the resilience to overcome it and continue to pursue your vision of Aussie?
What a great question, Trista. Because you might not know the answer to this. Definitely Resa. Okay. June 2016. So Aussie had started in December 2013. June 2016, the money was running out. Okay. The wife had told me, go and get yourself a job, Neil. Okay. Because the money that I'd saved, put into this venture, was dwindling down. And I knew the money was running out in August. So in June, I had to make that decision. What do? I don't want to close it down. I've come this far. You don't give up. And I then found Resa on Gumtree. I'd seen him 6 months before on Gumtree, but I didn't reach out to him because he had this nice spiel on his Gumtree ad, but he was missing one magic word, which is what our platform's built in, which is Laravel. And he didn't mention that. So, and also, his picture scared me. Okay. But 6 months later, I reached out to him and we met, and I didn't tell him the money was running out, but I said, look, come in 2 days a week. Can you help me? And he came in and he made a change on the database that changed my business forever. So he changed that literally in 20 seconds, something I've been trying to change for 6 months. And he changed it in 20 seconds, and it changed my business forever. So whilst the money was running out and the business was under pressure come in August, and the wife was wanting me to go out and get a proper job, that changed everything, because we then started to get some money coming in, which meant I could pay Resa, and I couldn't pay myself just yet, but it meant that things were turning 100%. That was the moment that Aussie changed, because it meant then that we could go forward with confidence, because we were now starting to cover the expenses, which was huge.
I think it's a testament to your character. I mean, in just terms of like, if you don't know much about Neil, he loves to just like jump into things. Like, he's a bit spontaneous. Oh, well, in like a lot of ways where you just are like, let's just do it. And you just like bite the bullet and just go for it. I think like that would have scared a lot of people to go, okay, there's no money, but I also need someone. So I've got to make the risk, and I've just got to do it.
Yep.
And I think that is massive in, I guess, just your mentality around it as well, where it's like, you've just got to give everything. Whereas a lot of people would have been like, I actually can't give any more. Like, that's it.
I think that's the only time I've ever lied, because I didn't tell Resa that the money was running out. And we then built this relationship there. He's still with me 8 years later, and that's a testament for, both of us in what we've been through. And he had to do a lot in those early days, 2 days a week. It's hard to get stuff done in 2 days a week, but that was the pivotal moment. And yeah, sometimes you have to take a risk in life. I'm definitely a risk taker, because otherwise you don't know where you're going to, coming to Australia was a big risk. But you've got to say you've done it, rather than, 15 years later being in the UK and think, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah. I think, okay, just don't recommend lying to get your employees, but risk-taking 100%. And I think, yeah, like, I feel like a lot of your journey is about, like, just jumping in, like, both feet.
Yes.
Not being, like, timid in the whole idea of, like, oh, I'll just dip my toe in. No, like, you'll want to just jump all in.
Yes, exactly. Look at podcasting, we've got to go for it. It's different. And, insurance is boring, but we've got to make it fun. And we have made it fun during that journey. And I think that's why a lot of customers love it. And we even had, a few weeks ago, somebody say to Nicole when she was on the phone, is Neil still there? So, I have taken a step back from everything, like to drive the business now. And that was just really nice. It made me feel as though I made an impression on somebody, a customer, all those years ago. I like to try and make impressions on people. And, very, very lucky.
And I feel like it reinforces that it was worth it, like all that like struggle was worth it.
Yes, 100%.
So next question, it's kind of like what we're talking about. So what drives and motivates you personally as the founder and CEO of Aussie Insurance, and how do you cultivate and maintain that passion within yourself and your team amidst the inevitable ups and downs of entrepreneurship and business and all that good stuff?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's a big question.
That's a huge question. And I was only thinking about that this morning, actually driving in, that I get a buzz from people. coming into the office is a drug to me, okay? You know, I come in and all I do is talk, okay? I don't do too much work. Well, I do. I do my work really before 6 a.m., but then I like to talk. And my drug and the people that keep me going are you, Tracy, Nicole, Resa, okay? That's my drug. I have to have that drug in my life. And I might have a Mondays and Tuesdays off where I don't do anything, but I struggle in that time. I need that drug. I need to come in here to get that drug, that buzz. And the energy, I need that energy as well. It's not very often we have a flat day in the office, but we know when it's flat. But, in 10 years, I can count them on one hand. But that gives me the buzz, and I'm building this for the future. Nicole, Resa are a lot younger than me. They've definitely got the qualities to take this business forward. Nicole, have got huge plans for her. If she wants to stay with me, I think she will. And she can definitely take this. She's just got everything. So if I can put those further foundations in place by taking trips to London to see what opportunities are out there, then that's what I'll do. Just to set the business up for the future. But, yeah, I love business. Love business. I'd love to try my hand at something else. I don't know what. I've tried a couple of other things. I always come back to insurance, but I love business. And I love that challenge of, profit and loss and balance sheets and expenses. And, yeah, I know. It's not easy over here. Australia doesn't make it particularly easy. The UK was a lot easier in respect of starting a business. They looked after you because they took that view that, hang on a minute, this guy's having a go. Let's give him some benefits, some tax benefits that we can utilise, because ultimately we want him to employ people, So don't get that so much over here. I found that quite difficult and quite draining on my energy, but we've done well and still got that buzz. And it's going to be very hard, I keep thinking, I'm nearly whatever it is, and you think to yourself, well, at what point do you have to, take a back step? But I don't know whether I could do that. I'm thinking business and Aussie and everybody all the time. So did that answer that question or?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, I was like, oh, business is not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's everyone's aware of it, but it's just the way you're profit and loss sheets. I'm like, oh, ain't no way you're catching me doing profit and loss sheet. And it's
but I get a buzz from that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute buzz. Absolute buzz. And, I do a lot of my best work before 9 a.m. I'm an early bird.
Oh, Neil's in the office 6:30 in the morning, like a crazy cat. Oh, earlier.
Yeah, I've been here earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. I that's when my brain is working, and then I have this period of where I struggle a little bit. Anything after 2 p.m, forget it. Yeah. Okay.
it's when Neil yaps is what I would say. He sits down and he's like, "Oh, so how's everyone going?"
And then, I get that second wind a little bit later, sort of 6:30 p.m. I get that second wind where I've got a bit more energy. But that's the way I operate. That's how I operate. And that's, the technology enables me to operate like that. Allows us all to operate like that. So.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of fun. You can't say you're boring.
No, I am different.
Yeah.
And
in the best way.
Yes.
In the best way.
You know what? Halfway through this journey thinking, okay, if I want to take a step back, how am I going to do this? Because I'm unique. Okay. How do I find a clone of Neil?
But you don't want to find a clone of Neil.
Yeah. Well, you want somebody, I think Nicole is as close as I'll ever get because she thinks similar to me. I like that. And she's very, very smart and switched on and can see everything. You only have to tell her once. And she wants to have a go. She'd like to be dropped in at the deep end. and figure it out for herself. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So I like that she's got a little bit of me about her, which is good.
Yeah, because I think like the great thing about like you two is it's like you I guess like you obviously like understand one another, but it's more like you understand each other enough to be like, okay, like what are we looking at kind of thing. And yeah, it's just like cool to see like the dynamic and everything like
Trust
that.
is a big thing for me, Trista.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, absolutely huge. And I trust everybody with my life. And Nicole, I know she's just, all of them would, it's great.
Yeah. Nicole's a legend.
Yes.
So talking like entrepreneurship and business, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to disrupt traditional industries with innovative online solutions?
That's a tough one. I'm a big believer in business is quite simple, really. You just got to have a product, buy it in, and then obviously add some money on. And there's, it all depends on what you're going to sell it for and make a profit. So I quite like the idea of, any industry can be just disrupted. You just got to do it bigger and better. And you've got to do it differently. We've done it differently because we've just used social media massively. In the old days, I'd just be sitting all the time on social media because I knew the technology would be doing the work for me. But it's come so far now that, anybody can set up an online shop and it's so easy. It's not cheap. I always recommend try and go with the cheap things first because there'll have to be certain parameters, but try and use free software as much as you can. And then ultimately when you start making some money, then obviously buy the better plugins to support that business. But you got to do it differently. Really, have got to do it differently. Yes, just do it differently, it's not rocket science. You just got to have that little bit of a business brain, and anything you don't know, call in the specialists. I look at my son now. He's gone out on his own, and he's making a really good go of it. And I see some of the things he talks to me about. He's only 25, 26. And some of the things he talks about, I can see he's already thinking with the business brain.
That's running the family.
But he needs that help with the accounting side of things and the money side of things, the cash flow. If there's one thing I'd say I'm brilliant at, it would be cash flow. I love cash flow.
Yeah, so it's like the profit and loss sheets.
Yes. Yeah. But, it's, I think, and also don't give up too easy. Too easy to give up.
What's that quote when it's like, try, and if that doesn't work, try again?
Yes.
I guess that's sort of something you can apply as well, where it's like, you've just got to give it a go.
Yes.
Just give it a go.
Yes.
It might not work.
Yep. And also another thing, what I think was quite interesting is, I was saying to the girls in the office yesterday, many years ago, I was doing like 60% Aussie, I was doing 30% something else and 10% something else. So I spread my 100% across 3 businesses and trying to make them all work. Well, in the end, it got to the point where I've really got to concentrate on one of these. Which one I think is the most likelihood of making a success if I give 100% to it. I gave 100% to Aussie and look what happened. The other 2 just fell off. They've still got potential, but I would need to give time and effort to it and 100% to it. I can't spread everything around. So if you've got, just put all your effort into one thing.
There's also something to say about balance as well, where it's like, well, obviously for you were doing like 3 different like ventures. But then like, okay, so that's 100%. You've got to have some room for like life and family and all this sort of thing. And I think that's the hard thing because people get discouraged when they are giving that 100% and there's no wiggle room, right? And I guess like it's sacrifices come to play 100%, but you've got to like, you've got to do things that you love. Like if your business is not going to flourish if you don't love it.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. You've got to love what you do. There's no point in doing something, even in a job, really. You know, it must be quite hard for some people who are in a job that they don't really like. Ultimately, you know, it is the cost of living. You've got to make sure you're earning money to support everything. But at some point or another, you've got to say to yourself, okay, am I really enjoying this? No, I'm so unhappy in myself. I've got to go and do something else. So, just make the best of it you can and go for it. And I'd love to help small businesses out. I really would. I'm just at that point now where I feel as though I could give back and try and help some smaller business to succeed. And there was even one of our customers many years ago. I think she was a customer, and she just did great stuff, but she gave it all up. And I just felt as though she needed that little helping hand. I would have gone in there, and I don't want any money for it. I just want to help them. And I'm a people's person. If they've got something, she definitely had something. She had talent, but she found business too hard. But she needed that little person sitting aside, you know. In the early days for me, I had nobody I could talk to about business.
You should do a course. You know, like how they've got like those little like online modules and stuff like that. That's right up your alley.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
Complete side note, but yeah, maybe that's your
future
venture.
Yes.
Yeah. Back to insurance. How do you see the future of insurance? The future of the insurance industry evolving, and how is Aussie positioned to adapt to these changes?
Obviously, definitely seeing a few more things online. Really, the complicated risks, I think you're never, ever going to change those. They need a helping hand. They need somebody to go out and see them and talk to them and understand what's going on. But the smaller risks, you know, the side hustles, the small businesses under 5 employees, you know, I still think that, you know, online is the way to go for them, save a bit of money. You know, we've got the ability where we've got people in the office that they can talk to them. So it's not fully online. People can come and talk to us if they want. And, you know, that's what's really nice. But I think, obviously, different risks. Cyber is a big risk that's out there at the moment, and I'd love to tap into that in the next few years. But apart from that, I don't think the insurance industry will... You know, it will change a little bit, but it's just an old industry, and, you know, the days of, you know, writing the contract on the back of a cigarette packet and, you know, taking it to the underwriters, agreeing, and that's the risks. I've taken it on. It's I think regulation needs to take a pull back a little bit. That's really tough, you know. There's a lot of other industries out there that are, you know, not doing the right thing. So that's always a tough thing to contend with. I'm not sure if I answered that one right, did I? Or?
I feel like you don't need to answer it right. Like, I feel like it's just what your opinion is on it, I think it's true. Like, sometimes we can overcomplicate things, and when something is so, like, traditional and it's already got its roots and everything like that, it's sometimes hard for it to like evolve and change. We are seeing like a shift to online, and we are seeing like obviously those big risks in cyber and everything like that, but people are looking for things to be easier. People are looking to, like, when my car insurance came along, I was like, I don't want to talk to someone. I just want to do it and be done with it.
Exactly.
And that's what, like, I won't, it's bad. I won't compare, like, the quotes, because I'm like, oh, but they're just so much easier. Like, I can just get it done.
Exactly.
And that's just, like, a small example. And, like, that's obviously so transferable into, like, every aspect of our lives currently. But you see it, like, insurance evolving to fit that.
Yes. Oh, look, nobody's got time, you know, to go and phone brokers for quotes, waiting weeks to get a quote. They want to be able to go on a Sunday night, they want to go online and get a price. And I know sometimes if it's an online, I will just buy it. And I haven't really considered the price of it because I just want it there and now.
Yeah.
No questions. And probably, if I really want to spend time with it and want to spend a week, might get it a little bit cheaper, but not huge amounts to warrant the time that I've wasted. So we're all about making sure people can buy a great policy, great price, and then get on with their business.
Like get the best available to them the easiest way
Yes.
possible.
Yes.
Like we hear time and time again where it's like people are gone and they've done all like these different quotes with different competitors, and then they just come back to Aussie,
Yes.
the first one that they did the quote with, because we just had the best overall. Because
Yes.
we've actually understood them.
Yeah. Oh, in the early days, you could see on our system, people would be getting a quote. There'd be a delay of about 20 minutes because you knew they were going elsewhere to get other quotes. And then you see them jump back online and buy. So we know that's what was happening. It's very time poor now. We've really got to maximise everything. Time is money, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Can't waste that. Not at this cost of living crisis. So looking ahead, let's be a bit more specific on like what are the goals and aspirations for Aussie in the coming years? We've talked about it. But like, how about we give like three main goals for Aussie in the next coming years? Obviously, you can mix that up as much as you want, but yeah.
Okay, 3. Number 1, I'd like to do more activities online. I think we're a little bit restricted. So that's a number 1 goal for me, is to fix that by finding another insurer that understands us and will give us the opportunity to run with what we're good at, and that is to sell insurance online. So that's number 1, definitely, is to find another security. Number 2 is, with podcasts and YouTube, I'd love that to be a big goal for us going forward, because I think a lot more people are now watching YouTube for everything, how to repair things, how to fix things. And I just think YouTube is a massive platform that's very underrated. So I'd like to do that. Number 3 is really potentially turn, it's a bit difficult. That's a bit top secret.
Top secret.
Yeah, I reckon, because I don't want to give too much away, do
No.
I? Because I've learnt, sometimes I can talk too much, and
Yes.
that comes back to bite you. So number
Yes.
3 is huge.
Yes.
And if I was to say anything to the world, then that may cause a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So
a little riot.
Yeah, top secret. Number 3 is top secret.
But I think that's a bit of fun.
It
Like,
is.
tune in for our future episodes.
Number 3 could be absolutely monumental. And it's exciting project. But it's top secret.
Yeah, I love that.
Only within these walls.
And like the next door.
Yeah, and next door.
That is it. That is all our
Wow.
questions.
That is great.
How exciting.
Yeah, I think that went very well.
Yeah. Amazing. Honestly, I'm not very good at these outros, but I think Neil's just such a, what is that? Such a I don't even know what my words are.
Let's turn this around. I think you're a great presenter. You've made me feel so at ease. You're a natural.
I don't need the flattery.
Yes, you're a natural. I honestly feel as though, made this so much easier that, I might come back for more.
Wow, future episode.
Part 2.
Part 2. No, but thank you for joining us. Tune in next time. Once again, if you have any ideas for names, because it is actually so hard to figure out. I tried to ask ChatGPT and it had no idea what I was talking about. But any potential name suggestions, that'd be amazing. And if joining this podcast would be something you're keen for, we've got a bunch of names already lined up for people to join us. But if it's something that you're interested in joining, if you're a small business owner, or if you have even questions that you want us to talk about, let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. But tune in next time. Thank you for joining us for our first episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.